I also am not an engineer, but I'm sort of an inventor and an educator and a speaker. And e-NABLE sort of happened by accident, but here we are. We're a global network, and we keep being joined by interesting new people like you. And what brings you here, Eli? I'll ask you some questions since you weren't sure how to begin. Where are you from? How did you find your way here?
Hi, I'm Ben. Sorry, it's listed as Eli. I share the Zoom account with
That's okay.
uh,
Hello, Ben.
someone else. Hi. Um, so I'm with Brandeis, just like Erica. We're part of that team
Ah,
who's using large language models for prosthetics. Um,
interesting.
so yeah, that's a little bit about me. I was at the last town hall as well, but I think my Zoom name was correct um,
I
as
remember
Ben.
now, Ben. Nice to see you.
Right. Nice to see you. Um, yeah, and I'll be at the next meeting too with Ian Roy and a couple other people for Bionics as well.
Well, that's great. And hello, Erica.
Hello. Yeah, my introduction will be pretty similar. I'm also from Brandeis and I'm working on the same project as Ben. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. Um, so typically these town hall meetings begin with a review of what's happening on the hub, but that may be particularly relevant for your project. Remember last time we talked about the possibility that all of the content in the hub would make good food for an LLM. So maybe we can circle back to that in a little while. Sarah, do you have things we should look at on the hub?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I don't know if my screen share is going to work. I'm just going to post our all of our hub posts in the chat so everyone can follow along.
Okay, I
So
got it. We'll take a look at fundraising.
let's start with the first one. Um, Fundraising. So here's someone wondering if there is any way to donate directly and wants to host a fundraiser.
Well, that's interesting. So the answer to that is yes and sure. Uh, if you go to Enabling the Future, there's a prominent purple donate button there, which will take you to opencollective.com/ probably enable or enable fund. And we are quite happy to accept donations. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. And there are probably lots of good materials to be had on our Google Drive and on our various websites if you're looking for visuals that you can use for that purpose.
Um, where is the prominent purple donate button? I don't
Top
see that.
top right, I think,
Um,
but I'll get you a link momentarily.
okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing a big purple donate button, but
Interesting. And
I
amazingly, we don't have one on the hub either, do we?
yeah, no.
Okay. Make a note of
Um,
that, Sarah.
but we can follow up on that. And
Yep.
then this we okay, so this is a question about a handathon. I know previously handathons were hosted where individuals could print unassembled parts and send them to chapters. Um, it seems like it was placed on hold due to COVID.
Well, it's a good
Is there
question.
any other way that we can donate unassembled parts? My group would love to make an impact. But yeah, okay. So
Sure.
what's
Uh,
your feedback here?
so it's a lovely activity, and it's a good way for people to learn about learn about assembling devices. Um, but the devices themselves are unlikely to be a particularly good fit for any particular person. And we have an abundance of devices in this country right now. So I don't know that that's, well, those are the caveats. Um, it's a good, but for the moment, I think the devices are likely to end up in people's hands. However, there are lots of other devices that can be 3D printed, which will end up in other people's hands or use, system devices. We have some on our own catalog, and there are many more makers making change. And so that kind of a assistive technology device-a-thon by enabled chapters would be a wonderful thing to do. And, you know, for this kind of thing, Madison Bondoc, who
John, you froze. We've lost you. Oh, it looks like we've lost John. Oh, he's back.
hello?
Hi. We
Oh,
lost
I guess
you.
I got disconnected. Actually, I'm in driving among the mountains, so just have to cut through. What's the next item? Or should I repeat my answer to that question?
You should repeat.
Okay, and the question was handathons, and I said yes, but I'd really recommend a device-a-thon. Look at makers making change. Look at our own catalog for assistive technology devices, which are more standardized and therefore something by lots of people. Whereas enabled is typically customized somewhat and have been enabled by also reaching out to Madison Bondoc for
I've also Ben and Erica, in case you're interested, I'm just gonna put a link to Makers Making Change, because that's a good suggestion. And then, okay, for the next one, someone is asking for a connection to someone who works in Autobach prosthetics. So John, I don't know if you know anyone. Oh, we lost John again. Okay. Well, while we're waiting for John to come back, I don't know if you have any questions that I might be able to help with.
hello. Sorry.
Hi, that's okay. The next post is from someone looking for a connection to someone who works in Autobach prosthetics.
Oh, that's interesting. Um, I don't think we can help that way. I would
Okay.
look at their social media accounts and try to reach out to them that way.
Okay. And then the next one is so Ahmed Saleh shares has if everyone wants to click on that link, it's I don't want to read the entire description, it's quite long, but it's someone sharing their work. So if anyone wants to look at that and provide any feedback for Ahmed.
I'm gonna try. They're not so simple. Yeah, you'd have to put that link back into the chat. I've lost it.
Okay.
Hello, Jonathan. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you guys. Sorry I'm a little later than planned.
Okay. So here's a link to hi Jonathan. Here's a link to Ahmed's post.
Got it.
If everyone wants to take a look at that.
Because I was disconnected, I have to log into the hub again. Okay. Does anyone here work about? Whose message are we looking for?
I just posted it at the bottom of the chat, and this is Ahmed's post. Ahmed Abo Saleh has posted a link to a it's called Survivor
Got it.
2.0 prosthetic arm.
Interesting. Radical departure. But there's a link which will tell us a lot. So, okay, clearly 3D printed without electronics or strings, fully mechanical. That is a long goal. There is a picture of it. I see. Very interesting. Very interesting. This guy has done a fresh rethink. Well, I would love to have him come to a town hall meeting and give us a demo over Zoom. I think it's an interesting idea. So try to make that happen, Sarah.
I've just invited him, so
Great.
we'll
Okay.
see. And then we have a few more posts to look at. The next one needs translations in Chinese. So if we know
Well, that's really interesting. I don't. It's possible that Chang Lu in Singapore, did they speak Chinese? I'm so sorry to ask this question, but that's what I do is ask silly questions. Do you know, Sarah?
well, I don't, it looks like someone volunteered, but I don't know if they followed through. So I checked back in to see.
Well, that's great.
But yeah, if anyone else comes to mind,
Well, so Chang
we have
and
that
Saad
request.
are two candidates. But I've also had good luck with Google Translate recently. Not Google Translate, actually. Chat GPT and Claude and Google AI are all quite good at translation. And you can do it that way. One of the classic tests of a translation, of course, is to go from, let's say, from Russian to English, and then from English, let's do it the other way, English to Russian, and then Russian back to English. And then it's doing two translations, and you can compare the two English to see how much of the meaning carried through. I mentioned this so I could report the joke about the test that gave it the expression, the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. And they translated it to Russian, and it came back from Russian to English, and it said, the vodka is strong, but the meat is rotten. So you got to be careful about it, but it's much better than it was 50 years ago when that joke was made.
That's a pretty funny joke. I wanted to comment on Singapore really quick. I'm pretty sure it's part of the education system to learn Mandarin, like standard Mandarin Chinese there. But if someone moved to Singapore from another place, most people there speak English as a first language. So
Well, that's right. That's right. Chang, who was an intern with us, is native Singaporean. Her English is superb. She was a good student. So now that you've told me, her Mandarin may be up to speed also. It's good to know.
yeah, I would suspect so, but not 100%.
Good.
Mhm. Okay, so this next one is someone looking to work with donating in India, and we've had this question before from others. A lot of interest there. I don't think we have active e-NABLE chapters there, and there was one volunteer, a student who you know I think worked with an organization in India, but they didn't have a need for e-NABLE hands.
Right.
So
But
if any,
it is a huge country. I'm sure there are opportunities. There was a maker space that was quite good and quite interesting some time ago. Ben will remember the location, Ben Rubin, but I can't retrieve it right now.
um,
Obviously, check the map. I'm guessing we don't have any chapters in India, which is a shame and a real opportunity. Is this person in India or connected to India?
um, I'll ask, and I'll ask Ben.
Okay, great.
And then okay, the last post today is one that Jonathan and I have both seen and responded to, but it's an open case. John, if you wanted to look at the post from Victor Koskay, I don't, um, um, he's a recipient in need of a device. If you have any other feedback. Here's his post. I just put a new link in the chat to Victor's post.
Victor in Kenya. Los Angeles. Complete with picture. Well, right. So the next finger is the obvious solution. And there's actually an example of a device that would be easy to print in a number of sizes based just on this picture, put into an envelope and send to Victor. There's not that much customization you can do if you've got the right size. And my guessing is that it would make it through customs because it looks innocent. You could also refer him to the group that's working on Kenya, working with Peter Adama in Uganda, and they could probably their shipments.
Okay, well that's a good option to explore. So if e-NABLE Nairobi doesn't respond also.
Great.
Um,
So I guess you've reminded me that there is an e-NABLE Nairobi, at least on the map. If you can make contact with them, I'd be interested in connecting with them because I think there's an opportunity to revive and expand our activities in Africa with with what's going on with Saratoga and Kampala.
Okay, great. Well, we'll keep you posted.
Good.
And that's it for Hub Posts. We have
Okay.
another 5 minutes before I have to close this link and start the meeting for education and new members, hosted by Ian. So
That's great.
if you all want to come join that one in 5 minutes, it's a new link. Here, I'll just post the link to that one in the chat. But is there anything else anyone wants to talk about in the last 5 minutes here?
Well, I'd love to. First, I'll ask whether Jonathan has anything pressing, but I'm eager to hear about the LLM project at Brandeis.
I don't think I necessarily have anything pressing.
Okay.
I've had a couple conversations with people helping them out with some technical questions and stuff, but
Good.
nothing much over the last couple weeks.
You did share your tracking Airtable with me.
Yes.
It would be a good thing to go over together when I'm not in an Uber traveling in a car. But thank you for that. And that it looked like a good start. And are we on top of what's going on using it?
Yeah, I've been adding some stuff.
Okay.
Can't say it's the standard for tracking stuff yet, but we'll evaluate and spread out a little bit more if we
All
like
right.
it.
Well, remember, our goal in life is to be substantially better than nothing, given that that's the alternative. So
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're doing. So Ben and she whose name I have forgotten and is not on my screen, Erica, what can you tell us about your project?
Erica, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. We made slides, but I don't think we'll have time to present them, so I'll just go without.
Well, listen, if you come to the education meeting, it's relevant to Ian and to education and to Brandeis, and that would be a great moment to look at your slides.
Yeah, you're welcome to present in the education meeting if you have time. It's just, I mean, I have to close this out and in 3 minutes so that I can start the next one. So if you want to present there, that would be great.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay.
But a quick run through without the slides. Our project essentially is using LLMs where users can interact with a language model, a chatbot, in order to automatically resize 3D prosthetics, because from what we understand, resizing the prosthetics for individuals is a bit of a technical challenge, and we're hoping to leverage deep reasoning models to help do this for users. Alternatively, because we're realistic that this is a bit of a novel task, and these prosthetics are extremely complicated, that if we also want the model to let users know if it's unable to provide certain readjustments and to walk them through how they could do that manually. So those are the two main goals, automatic resizing and providing instructions for manual resizing if automatic resizing isn't possible.
And how are you going about? Well, we'll talk about it during the break. Okay. In the next meeting, which I will try to join. I'm copying the link right now, and I'll see you soon, I hope.
Okay. Does everyone have the link to the next meeting?
Yep.
Great. I will see you all in 2 minutes. And
Okay,
I'm gonna close this one out. Thank you.
okay,
Thank
bye.
you.
I may be a few minutes as I make the transition.